we started at the old, it was called CATV in 75. It wasn't even called Shaw. And we did a recording. It's fine, we're going back 45 years now. We're doing the same thing this year we did 45 years ago. And we pre-recorded everything because we didn't have a room big enough and we didn't have a hall to play in. So we had one microphone hanging down in the center of a room that had plastic on the walls with insulation behind it. And the funny thing about that whole situation is we used to have canned clapping. So the clapping was on a recorded track, and every time an act had finished, we'd put the track up on the audio, and you hear the same lady going, woohoo! every act.
I wonder where she is.
Yeah.
We might need her.
I don't know. I don't think she'll be on the recording this year.
I'm Kenny Shaw, and I work with the Telethon mostly in the position of the Master of Ceremonies, but also I've done a fair amount of fundraising on this side, different activities during the year, and also I perform as a guitar player, singer, and comedian on the Telethon. Work backstage with Edwin Grieve, the second hardest working guy in the world. But my very first telethon was back in the 70s. I don't remember what year it was, and I performed at it in a band called Stillwater. And at the end of the telethon, somebody said, "Can you do one more song?" So my bass player had left the stage, so I ran out, and there he was just coming out of the washroom. I said, "We got to get back on stage really quick. We got to do one more song." And he was still doing his belt up when we got on stage. I thought that was on camera. So we did another song. As it turned out, they had finished the telethon long before we started that last song. This is the kind of thing that live telethons are all about. It's flying by the seat of your pants, doing the best you can. Things happen, you get glitches, oh well, carry on.
And I think that some of the things that both Brian and Kenny have said is so revealing is that for Brian, for many years, he worked out in a cube van. He worked downstairs in the library under the old SID. And definitely unsung heroes, these volunteers that we've had over the years. You know, Kenny would come in from nowhere and land and drive to the theater and come in, and nobody knew that he'd been through all this. He just came in with his white suit. Remember, you had a white suit, and he just came in and he was there. And you'd think he had just been for coffee, but oh no, he just made this sort of great entrance, and here he was. And you know, it's these unsung heroes that have made this telethon happen over the years, and made it such a grassroots event, but a good one, you know. And Shaw's been there with us every year. I've worked with a lot of different Shaw coordinators and directors. We have Gord Darby now, but Gord Curvis, who was one of our Shaw connections for a while. And they all got hooked, just like everybody does, and worked hard to put this production on. And someone said to me once, you put a telethon on? And I said, yeah, we do. And they said, that's not easy, you know. Who do you get in as your big acts? And I said, we don't need to bring anybody in. We have never gone outside the Valley. We have such talent here in the Valley. We have all local talent, and that's who we showcase.
You've met a lot of artists, and
Oh, yeah.
I think the show's probably grown a lot of artists.
Yeah.
Tell me about that.
Well, there's some that are quite successful. Kenny Shaw being one, Des Larson being one, Sue Medley, Juno Award winner, Helen Austin, Juno Award winner.
Joey Clarkson.
Pardon?
Joey Clarkson.
Yeah, Joey Clarkson, Edwin.
Brian Morissette.
Yeah, that's only I sang on the very first show in 1975, and I've never played on the show again. But one of these days, I'm going to be for my 50th.
What do you think is going to be different about it this year? Do you think that's going to go away, or do you think we're going to have the same kind of excitement about the telethon in the middle of a pandemic?
I know the feeling's going to be there because it's kind of like show business, and it's a known thing in show business. When your foot hits the stage, you feel ready to perform. It doesn't matter what's happened in your life 5 minutes before. And it's the same thing as the telethon. When we are into the telethon environment, we're all going to feel pumped and we're going to be ready to go.
Our first telethon, I just was looking at our scrapbook, was November 14th, and it says in the book, 25,000 raised exceeds expectations, and I think that sort of many ways says it all. Every year we exceed expectations, and that doesn't always mean that we've raised more money, but we've always raised as much money as this community can give, and that's all we can ask for in this community. The community is part of the telethon. You know, the volunteers, it's such a great community event put on in a community theater for children in our community. I don't think it can get any better than that.